Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to explore new ideas.
Awesome. So, today we're taking a look at something I think you'll find pretty fascinating. You know that smartphone you're probably using to listen to this right now?
Hmm, guilty as charged.
Right. Well, it turns out these little devices are completely changing the way businesses operate, especially when it comes to managing things like labor and expenses. We've got this really interesting excerpt from Optimizing Business Operations with Smartphone-Based Management Solutions. It's kind of crazy, but it basically says that because almost everyone has a smartphone now, it's actually become this like super powerful tool for businesses.
Yeah, it's almost like an accidental revolution, right? We thought we were just getting a better way to make calls and send texts, but we ended up with this incredibly versatile tool for managing entire workforces.
Exactly. And the excerpt really digs into that. It's
Yeah.
not just about being able to check emails on the go. It's about having real-time data at your fingertips to make better decisions. Like, imagine a manager who can see exactly who's on site, who's running late, and even who might be falling behind schedule.
Right, and all of that without having to be physically present at the job site. That's the power of real-time data, and it's completely transforming the way we think about managing labor.
It's mind-blowing. And speaking of labor management, that's one of the areas the source really focuses on. They break it down into a few key areas like time tracking, shift scheduling, and performance monitoring. And it's not just about making things easier, it's like completely changing the game.
It's definitely a game changer. Think about time tracking, for instance. It
Yeah.
used to be all about those clunky time clocks and paper timesheets. Now employees can just clock in and out right from their phone, which is way more convenient for everyone.
And way less paperwork.
Yeah.
But I think what's even more interesting is that it goes way beyond just, replacing the old system with a new one. It's about the data that these systems can capture, like the source mentioned GPS tagging.
Right. That's definitely one of the more controversial aspects of mobile workforce management. But it's actually super helpful for ensuring accountability and reducing something called time theft.
Time theft.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of intense.
Well, it basically means when employees are claiming hours they didn't actually work, which can be a big problem for businesses. GPS tagging helps prevent that by providing accurate location data to verify when and where employees are working.
That makes sense. So it's less about being Big Brother and more about having accurate records, right?
Exactly. And of course, there are always privacy concerns to consider, but when it's implemented ethically and transparently, it can actually be beneficial for both employers and employees.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about shift scheduling? I remember reading about how these smartphone apps are making it so much easier for businesses to manage their schedules.
Absolutely. We're talking about real-time updates, instant notifications, the ability to adjust schedules on the fly, and even offer open shifts to employees who are available.
It's like having a virtual assistant who's always on top of everyone's schedule.
Huh?
So no more scrambling to find someone to cover a shift at the last minute.
Exactly. And for employees, it means more flexibility and control over their schedules. They can pick up extra shifts if they want, or even swap shifts with coworkers, all through their phone.
So it's a win-win for everyone. Now, the source also talked about performance monitoring, which I know can be a touchy subject for some people.
Yeah, it definitely has its critics, but the key is to use it responsibly and ethically.
Right.
It shouldn't be about micromanaging or spying on employees. It's about using data to identify areas where employees might need additional training or support, to provide more objective and data-driven performance reviews, and ultimately to help employees grow and develop within the company.
So instead of being this scary Big Brother thing, it's actually about helping people improve.
Exactly, but again, transparency is key. Employees need to be informed about what data is being collected, how it's being used, and what the benefits are. If you approach it that way, it can actually be a really positive tool.
Makes sense. And it makes me wonder, do you think employees might actually be more motivated if they feel like their performance is being, measured and acknowledged in this way? Or does it just make people feel more stressed and pressured?
That's a great question, and there's probably no one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on the company culture, how the system is implemented, and how the data is used.
Yeah, I guess it's all about finding that right balance, right? Now, moving on, let's talk about how smartphones are revolutionizing expense management. I remember when I used to have to keep track of all my receipts in a shoebox. It was a nightmare.
Oh, I can only imagine. But thankfully, those days are long gone. Now, with smartphone apps, employees can just snap a photo of their receipt, and the software does all the work.
Really, it's that easy.
Pretty much. It extracts all the relevant information, categorizes it, and stores it securely. No more manual data entry or lost receipts.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about keeping track of budgets?
That's another area where smartphones are making a huge difference. With real-time budget tracking, businesses can see exactly how much they're spending, categorized by expense type, and compare it to their budget.
So you can basically see if you're on track or headed for trouble, right?
Exactly. It's all about having that real-time insight to make smarter financial decisions. And for small businesses or startups where every dollar counts, this kind of visibility is invaluable.
Absolutely. And I imagine that mobile expense approvals are also helping to speed things up.
Definitely. No more waiting for someone to get back to the office to sign off on an expense report. You can approve or reject expenses from anywhere, which improves cash flow and keeps things moving smoothly.
So it's really about creating a more agile and efficient system overall, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about convenience, is it?
No, not at all. The source really emphasizes the tangible business benefits. Increased efficiency, enhanced mobility, cost reduction, improved compliance, and data-driven decision-making. These are real, measurable improvements that can have a significant impact on a company's bottom line.
It's mind-blowing to think about how much has changed in just a few years. But I guess the key takeaway here is that it's not enough to just have the technology. You have to know how to use it effectively, right?
Exactly. Successful implementation is just as important as the technology itself.
Right.
Businesses need to choose the right software for their needs, invest in training their employees, and ensure that the new systems integrate seamlessly with their existing workflows. And of course, data security should always be a top priority, especially when you're dealing with sensitive financial and employee information.
So it's not a magic bullet, but it's definitely a powerful tool that can help businesses operate more efficiently and effectively. And as these technologies continue to evolve, who knows what the future holds?
That's the exciting part, right? Imagine a future where your smartphone can not only manage your current workforce, but also analyze historical data and predict future staffing needs, or provide personalized recommendations to employees on how to improve their performance.
That's wild. I mean, it makes you wonder, are we moving towards a future where our smartphones are basically running our businesses for us?
Who knows? But it's definitely a possibility, and that's something for our listeners to ponder. As these technologies become even more sophisticated, what new possibilities will they unlock for businesses? And perhaps more importantly, what are the ethical and societal implications we need to consider as we embrace this increasingly mobile and data-driven world?
Great questions. And that's something for all of us to think about. So it's clear that smartphones aren't just for scrolling through social media anymore. They're powerful tools that are transforming the way we work.
Absolutely. And as we've seen, the benefits can be significant, but it's crucial to approach these technologies strategically and ethically.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been fascinating. And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.
See you then.